Could this new sharpening filter in Photoshop replace all other plugins and methods that you currently use? To access this tool, we'll just go to Filter and then down here to AI Sharpen. But this will be applied directly onto the image layer that we're working with. And to make sure we're working non-destructively, it's a good idea to first duplicate your image layer by clicking on it and pressing Command or Control J. Now with this duplicated layer, I'll go back up to Filter and then AI Sharpen and see what the results look like. A little window appears and it's just letting us know that we're using a partner model from Topaz Labs, and we'll just click on Sharpen. There's no extra settings, there's no sliders. It just does all of the work for you. Zooming in to get a better view after it's finished loading here, this is the result and this was the before. So obviously it is quite a bit more sharp than before, but if it felt a little bit too overdone or something like that, we could of course lower the opacity of that sharpen layer to bring that down, or we could even go and add a layer mask and then paint black over any areas that we did not want this sharpening adjustment to appear. But in my opinion, overall, considering we didn't need to do any adjustments with layers, we didn't need to use blending modes, we didn't need any pre-existing knowledge of sharpening. We could just press that button and then it is done. I think this does an amazing job and it is a super useful tool. But the caveat to this, as with anything that is great in life, there is a downside. That being that this tool uses quite a few credits per generation and it varies based on the megapixels of your photo. Now, if you're not sure how many megapixels your photo actually is, it's super easy to calculate. Just down here in the bottom corner of Photoshop, click on that little arrow, make sure we have document dimensions, and so you can see the size of your document. So you'll just go and take those two values, so 6720 times 4480 in my case, and then divide that by 1,000,000. That gives us 30.1 megapixels. So that is the size of this photo. So with this in mind, looking at Adobe's website here, I can see that 25 megapixels and up is 20 credits per generation. So just to generate the sharpening adjustment for that photo cost me 20 credits. Now, depending on the plan that you're on, that is going to be a lot of credits and definitely going to go through your allotted amount super quickly. So it begs the question of, is this actually better than some of the alternatives, especially some of the free methods like the high pass filter, which just uses filters and a blending mode in Photoshop. Let's go and compare to see the difference so you can make the decision for yourself. I'll call this layer to AI Sharpen so that we can look back at it later. I'll disable it and then I'll go and apply the high pass filter method. Now I've already made a video about this. I'll leave it in the description below if you want to check it out after this video. So I'll just run through this process pretty quickly without actually getting into the weeds of it. Essentially, we'll duplicate our image layer and then go up to Filter, Other, and then High Pass. And from here, we just want to set a radius where we can just barely see the details around the edge of the objects in our photo. Clicking OK to get rid of all of that gray, we'll just change the layer blending mode down here to linear light. And then now turning that high pass layer on and off, we have successfully sharpened our photo. And we didn't have to use any AI credits or anything like that. So let's compare the results and then you let me know down in the comments which one you think does a better job. So looking at these results side by side, applied at full intensity, so both effects are at 100% sharpening. I think that the AI sharpening method did a slightly better job. The high pass just looks a little bit overdone in this case. However, if we were to go and reduce the opacity of that high pass layer so the sharpening feels a little bit less intense, I think we start to balance things a little bit more, and this is where the high pass filter starts to compete a little bit more reasonably. With a 70% high pass adjustment now applied, I think that the sharpening both look similar in these images. So if you are willing to go through the steps of the high pass filter, it could save you a lot of credits rather than using the AI sharpen method. The only downside is that, of course, it's a little bit more time consuming. Now, with this said, the AI sharpening method does not work very well on some photos that are a bit more blurry. And I tested it with a couple other images that I had here. In this example, the photo that I'm working with had the denoise filter applied from previously. So a lot of the grain was removed, but it also kind of removed some of the texture from the bird, which was already a little bit out of focus anyways. But then when I applied the AI Sharpen, just turning this on and off, it is so subtle. Like I can hardly tell the difference. Only in the background, some of the grain, if I really zoom in, you can see that there's like more texture to the grain in the background, but the bird itself didn't actually get any more sharp with that tool. So that was kind of 20 credits down the drain in this case. The same kind of thing applies to this photo as well. We had the denoise filter applied. It's heavily cropped, so it is a little bit smaller and it's using less credits to generate the result, but turning this on and off, yes, it looks a little bit better, but would I say that this looks sharp? Definitely not. I don't think that this saved that photo necessarily. So there are some downsides to it in the sense that it's not going to recover a more blurry photo. I still think that having more of the settings and sliders that we can adjust, such as in the actual Topaz Labs software, it gives us a little bit more freedom with our results. So although this filter does do a nice job just to streamline the process of getting things done for you, you are paying a lot in credits, which is kind of one downside to it. And if you already have the software for Topaz Labs or something like that, that's still going to be more advantageous and often get you better results since you have a little more control over the result than we have here in Photoshop. However, if you don't have Topaz Labs and you're wanting another sharpening method that is just easy, one click and you're done, I think that this is a great one that we can add into our toolkit, assuming you have enough credits to spend. Now, I'd love to know what you think of this feature in Photoshop. Is it something you're going to use in your photos? What did you think of the results in your experience? Let me know down in the comments below. And while you're there, make sure to grab a copy of my free Photoshop Pro ebook to help you get up to speed with all of the nuances of Photoshop for your photography and photo editing, so you can make the most of these adjustments to get more from your edits beyond just Lightroom. Again, that's available in the description or pinned comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one.